Hello, this is Brian Erdrich. This is an architecture redesign proposal for the Phipps.org. In this, we are aiming to improve user experience, and I will be showing you some user stories as well as a prototype wireframing of the proposed website. The current website poses a number of problems in terms of its usability. When you come in, you see theater, children's theater, concerts, visual arts, dance and movement, support, education, about, and then also all of these things at the top: visit hours, call, donate, tickets, search. So there's a lot of different options for people who want to narrow it down very quickly. What that ignores is people who are looking for any show on a specific date. So if I want to pick one date, say Mother's Day, here's what a user story would look like. I want to buy tickets for Mother's Day. This is my goal for this user story. So for my steps, first I'm going to browse the theater tab because maybe I want to take my mom to a play. Then in the theater tab, I've got two options. I can either hover for the theater drop-down menu, hover over for shows, navigate down to the shows list, select learn more on any selected show, and then navigate down to the schedule. Or instead of using the hover menu, when you hover over the theater button, you can just click straight on it. It brings you to a page where you click learn more on a specific show. So this is actually faster, which is a little ironic considering that a hover menu oftentimes is designed to make things quicker and easier for you, but the hover menu actually makes things longer. So I go to the theater tab and I don't find anything. There are no shows in theater happening on Mother's Day right now. So I go over to children's theater. I go through the same exact process that I still did. Again, that's either 5 or 3 steps. Here, I see that Little Red Robin Hood is an available option on Mother's Day for me to bring my mother. It works for the dates. But I'm not so sure if, she wants to see a children's theater show. So I see, okay, concerts up top. Again, I go through the entire thing. I see the Music of Adele concert. I can do that, but there's still more things that I can look through. I might go over and look at dance and movement. Maybe there's a dance show going on, and there isn't anything. So now I have to think back, okay, what were my options? Which many users might trip up right there. What were my options? Thinking back to however many steps ago, right? And then I might decide that I want to do Music of Adele, in which case I would go back to the concerts menu, hover over for shows, do all of these same processes, click get tickets, and then our Ovation tickets page has several steps in itself. That is more difficult for us to change because of how Ovation Tickets is set up. But there are several steps here. But as you can see, you could be taking between 31 and 52 detailed steps in this user story, depending on if you go for the hover menus or the actual clicking on the buttons themselves. Okay, so that's our current story. A lot of steps if you want to find something for a specific date. Here's my proposal. Instead of having all of those different icons, I would be proposing that we have an events button. Immediately, having an events button, you hover over it, hover over the events for the drop-down menu, you click on all events, scroll down to events list. The reason why you would want the hover is because we still want a button such as season tickets. Scroll down to events, you see right there in the scrolling list of events that Little Red Robin Hood and Music of Adele are the only options. And then you learn more about both of them, and then you buy the tickets. And then all of these and Ovation tickets are the exact same. So we went from all of these steps from Browse Theater tab up until just before select the tickets on Ovation tickets to one large user step, which is ideal. So here's the proposed homepage. We get a search button that works. Events right here. Visual arts does need to be its own because galleries don't work in the same way that events do. So we have events, we have visual arts receptions, galleries receptions could be listed under events if desired. We have education, get involved. Here's the button where people would click if they want to volunteer, if they want to audition, if they want to get their art shown at the galleries, anything like that. Of course, that might also show up here, but here's how the people get involved and about us. The old website being broken up this way, these are the councils that run the Phipps. And so this is benefiting the councils. The councils can look, if you're on Children's Theater Council, all of your children's theater things are right here. But the website is not for the councils. The website is for people buying tickets. It's for the users who give us money. Therefore, this is much more conducive. Not only having this new top bar here, but a large button right when you come in. Events and tickets. This is what many other programs do. The Orpheum Theater, events and tickets button. The Ordway has a similar one. And it funnels people in towards buying tickets in a very user-friendly way, as quick as possible. Here's a look at the drop-down menu for the events. So you would hover over events, all events. You have the 2023-2024 season tickets here. We would auto-populate some of the upcoming shows. So it would have an image and the dates on there. The all events page, if we clicked on all events here, would go to something like this. The amazing part is this is already built in the website. The current website has this up here, which I'm not proposing we keep this because all of this information is in the bottom of the website anyway. But there's this tickets button. If you click this tickets button, it brings you to this beautiful page that has a list of all of our events. But that is not an intuitive thing to do. If you want to see if something is available on a date that you choose, you're not going to go straight to tickets. You're going to want to browse events. But the great part is, because this is already built, if you go to all events, this is what it would bring you to. We already have it built here. In addition to this, I propose having a calendar button on this page. There could be several different ways where we could get to this calendar. We would want it to be very accessible. But the calendar button would be very helpful. It would look something like this. It would have a calendar. It would include event titles. It could be color-coded by type or theme. We would need to test considering all of the different kinds of events. So here I put Little Red Robin Hood in red. We could also here notate building closures, which we currently do not have a place for on the website whatsoever. This is a frequent source of calls to our office to figure out, hey, are you going to be open on July 5th, on July 3rd, the days around holidays, that kind of thing. So here we'd be able to make it very clear for people who go to the calendar view. Here then is a look moving on at the visual arts dropdown, which has all of the same items that we currently have, as well as it would auto-populate an image and some information on the current gallery, and it might highlight the next call for artists as well. Education would be very straightforward. Art classes, music lessons, dance classes, and summer arts camp. Here, we could also put something specifically about adult classes if we desire, but it would be very clear here. Get involved. Here is how we get involved with the Phipps. If you want to be a part of this great arts organization, you go to Get Involved, and then you can click on Audition, Volunteer, Calls for Artists, Donate, Newsletter, whatever we want. And then about us, plan your visit, story of the Phipps, the history of it, the mission, vision, and inclusion statements, leadership and staff, facility rentals, and newsletter again, because that could go on either of these two if people want to um, be tuned in to the Phipps in that way. And then, of course, this giant become a member button is always good and helpful. So if we go forward with this type of website, with this proposal, the predicted results are many. Predicted it would increase ticket sales for unique events specifically. Currently, special events, comedy shows, for example, have no place in the website. They have to get thrown into theater or something like that, or concerts. So unique events particularly would see increased ticket sales because people would see them more. They'd be much more visible. It would decrease phone issues or phone calls due to website issues. For example, I can't figure out if you guys are going to be closed on this day. And then it would generally improve user experience. And the stats show that the better the user experience, the more repeat users you get. People want to keep coming back and using the website. But if they get confused the first time, I can't find what I'm trying to look for, the chances of them wanting to come back is few or small. And that's our look at the architecture redesign of the Phipps.org. Again, this is Brian Erdrich. I hope you take this into consideration. Thank you.